And welcome. David Levin here, Raise Your Game today. This is Tuesday, so we're talking about the mental game of sports and competition. Fridays are for the rest of our lives. This week, I want to talk about a great mental game lesson I saw illustrated in a movie called Rez Ball. Rez as in reservation. It's about a high school basketball team on the Navajo Reservation in Arizona. First, it's just a lovely movie. We lived in that area for a few years. It brought back a lot of great memories. It felt authentic to my limited experience. Beautiful story, inspiring, highly recommended. But there's a scene in there that has a great mental game lesson in it. So earlier in the story, the main character, the star of the team, he's practicing free throws outside his house. His mom comes out, sits down a lawn chair, and starts watching him practice. They have a difficult relationship. She's an alcoholic. It's just the two of them at home. She's not supportive of him as an athlete. It's always negative. So she comes out, sits down, and says to him basically, no matter how hard you try, you're going to fail. It's just in your blood. The reason I don't come to your games is because I don't want to see it when it happens. So that's brutal, obviously. But then later, and this is the scene with the lesson, the team's in the championship. It's the big moment, last seconds. He's at the free throw line. If he makes the shot, they win the title. All of a sudden, he's back there again, in his head, with his mom sitting there, saying all those negative things again. It's a dramatic moment, obviously. It's also one that I bet every player recognizes. Maybe not their mom telling them they're going to fail, but someone in there, in their head, talking them down, right? This is probably the most common mental game experience athletes have, or at least negative experience they have. So just at that level, it's great to see this kind of inner moment portrayed so clearly. But this is the lesson in it, and it's so easy to miss. But it's that there are two people having the conversation. The player at the line and his mom 20 feet away. Two different people. Now, of course, we're talking about the inner game, so there aren't really two people in there, right? It's all happening in your head. But when you take a close look, it feels like two different people. It's you and the other person talking to you, just like in this scene. If you've heard my other Tuesday posts or read the Raise Your Game book or taken our training, you heard me point out this point many times, but that this is the most important mental game lesson of all. That negative voice in your head is not you. There are two people in there. The one who hears the comments, which is you, and the other person who says them. And by the way, don't take my word for this. This is the same observation at the core of the classic book, The Inner Game of Tennis. The players are beating themselves up. Their coach, the author, notices that and thinks, hang on, who are they talking to? There are two people in there. It's the same observation at the core of my book, Raise Your Inner Game, and our Sports Academy training for athletes. So it is absolutely real, and the more you can experience it for yourself, the more power you'll have over your mental game. And until you get this, it'll be very hard to have any real control over it. So again, it's great to have the reality of this, of our dual nature, depicted so clearly in this scene, in this movie. There's also a second lesson that grows from this first one, which is how you can get control of it, how you can control your mental game. And the answer is so simple, it almost doesn't sound serious, but here it is. The way you control this process is in the moment, you hear the negative thought, you hear your mom there talking you down, or whatever it is, you turn to that other person and say, no, quiet, not now. And you simply stop. You shut down the thoughts and bring your attention back to what you need to be focused on. In other words, you get out of your head and back in the game. That's how you control your mental game, or at least that's step one in getting control of your mental game. And it gets you, I'm going to say 90% of where you need to go. There's still some more you can do, and we have an advanced mental game mastery course for that. But it's just transformational. So you start with getting super clear on the first idea that there are two people in there, and then you practice getting the other one to stop in these moments. This ability to direct your thoughts rather than letting them jump around like they do and pull you off into your head is a mental game skill called Cognitive control. I talk about this all the time. And it is the most powerful self-mastery skill, especially for athletes, along with emotional self-regulation. And this great scene from this movie tells you everything you need to know to get control of it. Step one, experience the duality. Two people in there. Do some exercises to experience it for yourself. Practice until it's completely real for you. Step two, once you have that, practice shutting down the thoughts. Different ways, different situations. Once you have that, you have everything you need to master your mental game. It really is about that simple. By the way, if you're looking for step-by-step training on how to do that, that's what our Sports Academy training does. That's exactly what it teaches. If you're looking for training elsewhere, just make sure it teaches these core skills: cognitive control, emotional self-regulation. Either way, check out this wonderful movie, Rez Ball, on Netflix. There's a link in the notes. All right, on we go. As always, thank you. Keep up the good work. I'll see you next time.